All right, this is just a really, and for those of you who have used Photoshop before, it's going to be pretty simple. If you've never used it, it's basically kind of getting you used to the idea of building your own compositions by combining different images together. So I am going to send you on a all-expensive, cheap vacation to Hawaii here. And what I've given you is a layered file, and I want you to kind of mask everything in here and create a composition. So here I have a palm frond. We'll add that in there. Here's a lovely tropical drink. All right. If you're of age, it could be a Mai Tai. If not, it's Hawaiian Punch. Fun fact, where was Hawaiian Punch invented?
Arizona.
Fullerton. Yep. So I've added a whole bunch of stuff here for you've got the lei and the pineapple and all these drinks. What we're going to do is combine them together here to create a composition. Um, what I recommend you do is in the upper right-hand corner, check your workspace. And I think, especially for this class, Essentials is probably going to be the best choice. What it does is it gives you the most used tools over here. Same like in Photoshop, you've got the tools along the left side. When you choose different tools, you'll see the control panel at the top changes slightly as you go through here. You can also, if there's things you use a lot, like say I'm gonna put, I want my swatches, you can always grab these and put them into this right toolbar that makes it a little bit faster to access things. So um, I usually put type up there and some other stuff. Um, but again, as you work, you can do that. What you should have down here in the lower right-hand corner, and this is where a lot of what we're going to do today takes place. You have a palette with all your layers, and I just showed you each one has an eyeball if you want to turn it on and see what it is. You can actually move anything around that you want on here. Next, there is what we call channels. And as I mentioned, I always work in the RGB, red, green, blue color space. Whenever you open anything in Photoshop, up here in the tab, it will tell you what it is. This is the red, green, blue color space. And if you click on here, that's the red plate, that's green, and that's blue. And when they combine together, that's how you get all these colors. If I were to switch this into CMYK color for printing, now you could see this is the blue cyan plate. This is the magenta plate. And when you combine them together, now you're getting the kind of full range of blues. Here's the yellow plate. And again, when you combine it with magenta, you're getting the reds and everything. And just to show you how printing works here. So conventional printing that still uses this dot pattern, that's a little big. Let me show you this. So the way this works in printing, your artwork would go and be turned into a screen of dots. And when they combine together, that's how you get the full color on here. So now this would be the plate with, here is just the cyan, the blue, and you can see because of the sky and the water, it gets very dense with the pattern on here. When you combine it with magenta, here's what the magenta plate looks like. Now you're getting more deeper blues in here. When you combine it with yellow, you get a more bigger range too. And then the black plate usually just adds a little bit of detail to it. So what we're going to do as you go through here is I want you to create your own composition however you want to. So if I turn on the palm frond here, there is an omnidirectional arrow up here at the top. This allows you to move this around however you want. You'll see it has a bounding box on it. You can grab a corner and make things smaller if you want to, or larger. One nice thing they changed in Photoshop, you don't have to hold the shift key down. It won't distort your image. You could actually hover over the corner here and even rotate these slightly however you want to. So the key to making this look like a solid one image composition, obviously I'm going to have to get rid of the backgrounds on here. And the way this works in Photoshop, and you can do this manually, and I'll show you down here in the lower left, or I'm sorry, lower right, in your layers panel, if you go to the little icons at the bottom, if you hover over them, it will tell you what they do. FX is basically just that, it's special effects. The one I want to talk about is the layer mask, and that's what you're going to be using today. And you can add one of these in manually by just clicking on it, and you can see it put a different kind of canvas off to the left. It's linked with a little chain link. And the way it works in Photoshop is anything you want to mask or have disappear, you click on this layer mask and you come over here. You can use whatever tool you want. I'm going to just grab a paintbrush here. And everything you paint with black is going to be masked out. All right, so you can see it's kind of doing a sloppy job of it here. This is actually what the mask looks like. All right, so black makes it go away. If I come back here and switch to painting with white, so I'll do the little swap here, that will restore the image back, everything I wiped away. I usually tell everyone, do not ever use the eraser tool in any of the Adobe software because once you erase something, it's gone. There's things like masking where you can make things disappear, but they're not totally gone. And if you have to go back and restore something, you can. Um, so that is obviously a little tiresome to do that. Um, like in Illustrator, if you want to go back a step, you can do Command Z, but you can only do, oh, it lets you do more. You also have up here a little history. Um, it shows you everything that you've done to the file up till now. And so if you want to say, okay, I kind of screwed up, I'm going to go back a couple steps and maybe the movement here. But as you can probably tell, trying to mask this out with something like the brush is kind of a pain in the butt. So they have now some options for you. In Photoshop, you have different tools that you can use to select something. Here's the marquee tool. It draws a little rectangle, and if you grab the move key, you can do it that way. It's like the shape tool in Illustrator. If you click and hold on it, you can do the ellipses as well to take things away. The other selection tools are the lasso tool. You can freeform select stuff and move it away if you want to. And the last one I want to talk about, they have a couple other options of the lasso. The one I want to talk about is the fourth one here, or the third one actually. This is called the magic wand. And the way the magic wand works is you click on here and it selected a white pixel and it will go in every white pixel that is touching it, it will select it as well. The problem is when it stops selecting white pixels, like over here, it didn't select anything over here. Um, and you could hold the shift key down and use your magic wand and select the rest of this. Now, if you come over here and add the layer mask on here, oh, so you can do that way, but the issue you'll notice, you've got all these little white spaces in here. So to go in there and kind of clean it up and make it look realistic is going to kind of be a pain. That's where they now have introduced AI. Let me show you how this works. And to do this, you need to find the magic wand here. Again, it's fourth one down. It may be hiding under some of the other selections here. When you select the magic wand, you have two options up here. Select the subject or select the subject and mask automatically. And I'll be honest with you, this doesn't always do such a great job. So I'm going to do select and mask. And then you get all these controls up here. And to be honest with you, I don't really know where my palm tree went. So it's a lot more complicated. The easiest thing I think is come up here again, grab your magic wand, do select subject, and it will go and use AI to determine what's the palm tree and what's not. And you'll notice it got all these little interior parts here. If you do that and then come over here and click the mask button, that's going to give you a much cleaner edge on here. And again, the background's still there. If I turn off the mask, you can see the white background's still there. And here's what the mask looks like. Um, if it's not totally exact or it missed some edges, you can always go in there with a brush and clean it up. So the goal on this is to layer by layer, create a composition with the elements that you've been given in here. One thing I want to caution you though, anytime you add a layer mask in here, you'll see there's a little chain link between them. If you accidentally turn that off and I go to move my palm tree, that's going to happen. The mask stayed where it was and the palm tree moved. So if you ever see that happen, go back here and just make sure that's logged. And then your job on here, one by one, here's my Mai Tai on here. Again, grab the magic wand, do select subject, and then come down here and add a mask to it. And again, you can still move this wherever you want. You can see there's still a bounding box around it, so you can make it bigger or smaller, however you want on here. And let's do this one. And again, maybe on this one, we'll make it a little bit smaller. Maybe we'll group these guys together here. Again, find the magic wand, do select subject, and create the mask on it here. And ever so often, zoom in here and go around the edges and make sure, sometimes, especially on the straws, it doesn't always get them. Here, there's a little bit I could clean up on there. And then the last one on here is my pineapple with the lei. This one is probably going to need a little work. So I grab the magic wand, do select subject. Oh, I'm on the wrong layer. Grab the magic wand, select subject, just thinking about it, and then create the mask. And I'm pretty sure on this one, you'll probably have to do a little touch up on it. Actually, it's gotten better. There's a little spot here. So you can go and clean this up if you want to. So the whole goal here is create your own little composition. I'm going to make that smaller. Maybe I'll move these drinks over here. The other thing too, these are on layers, so you can change the order. I can move this drink up here and do that. And then when you get a composition you like, what I want you to do is save this two different ways. One is going to be your working file. So come up here, do save as. So here's the deal. This is a layered working file. This is, you don't upload this for me on here. Um, Otherwise, it's going to be a really huge file on here. What you can do is um, go ahead and save this as a layered file for yourself. And then what you're going to upload to Canvas, we need to first flatten this. So in the layers panel, if you come up here to the little hamburger menu and click on it, right up here near the top, you'll see it says flatten image. And there you can do that. And then, so there's two parts to this. Part one, I want you to save this to upload in the TIFF format or TIF format. Because we're going to be working on a print magazine, I want you to get in that habit on it. So go ahead, upload this to the assignment, but then I want you to do a little exploration on here. All right. A couple things. Come up here and check out some of the filters that are on here. If I go to stylize, I can make things look a little crazy on here. Let's see what happens. Maybe nothing. All right. So yeah, I just want you to go through here and see some of the options you have on here. Sketch. Let's see where it went. All right. If you come up here and do artistic, these have a lot of, and I don't know why it's not showing a preview image. Interesting. All right. I guess nothing is working today. I'm going to try a little trick here. Let's see. Sometimes if you just rename stuff, and no, it's not. All right. Then screw it. Let me see if this works. I don't even have it. Okay. Wait, maybe, just maybe. No, it's not coming up no matter what I do. All right. So don't do that, but I do want to show you this. So you're going to upload one TIFF with your composition. Then if you come up here under image, come down here to adjustments, and just want you to kind of look at some of these here, and you can play around with these. The first group here, remember I showed you that forest where you can make it lighter or darker. Here's one of the ways oh, nothing's working. All right, I don't get it. All right.
Sorry.
Yeah, I don't want to take the time. I'll show you guys this. Let's see. Yeah, it's not letting me do anything. All right, I'll show you these on Wednesday. So for now, because you don't can't even access this file yet because Canvas is down, let's just leave it at that. So create a composition for me. I just want you to get used to being able to move things around, size things up, um, and create your own composition with this. And hopefully things are working on Wednesday. Let me just try one thing here. All right, one last attempt. There we go. So this is labeled under artistic, and there's all sorts of really cool effects on here. So what I was going to have you do is do a little exploration on here and see what looks, these are called artistic. Here's where it mimics watercolor. If you come down here, different kind of brush strokes on here where it will look. And you have a lot of controls over here. They vary depending on the technique you're doing. This is called spatter. There's distortion down here. You can make it look like you're looking through glass on here. Sketch has some really cool things in here too. So what I was going to ask you to do is do one of these special effects on here. And so especially since you guys, most of you have newer Adobe accounts, what you may find if you come up here to filter, you won't see artistic here. And it will look like you don't have these. I don't know why Adobe does this, but what you need to do is come over here to system settings, or not system settings, sorry. Come up here to Photoshop, drop down here to settings, come down here to plugins. Right up here at the top, I don't know why, but Adobe shifts with this checked off where it says show all filter gallery groups. So if you do that, again, it's Photoshop settings to plugins. You want to come down here and make sure both of these are checked, and then you should see the artistic filters. And the other thing I was going to show you, if you want to look at this instead of the filters, under the image drop-down menu, these are the adjustments. So again, here you can play with the exposure, either going really bright or really dark with it. The next group under here, you can play with the color. Here's hue and saturation. You can actually take this all the way around the color wheel if you want. And then we talked about saturation of color. Remember the robot layout I showed you in the magazine? That's where you take color out and it just gets kind of there's a little bit of a color, but just a hint of color. You can actually go the other way and turn it into some kind of weird acid trip. Not that I would know anything about that. Um, you can also go really light. And this is a technique we use in magazine design. We call this a ghosted image, where you can have this in the background, you can run type over it, but it's a way to get more imagery in with all your text. You can go the other way with it as well. And then one of the other techniques I showed you in the lecture was colorizing something, and that's over here. There's a checkbox. And if you check that, it will start with red, and you can go all the way around the color wheel. And you probably want to do that in conjunction with maybe boosting the red up a little bit. And you can also make it really light or really dark. So I'm going to leave it up to you. I want you to save this in regular color and then save a second one here that you can upload in the TIFF format. I just want to see that you've explored some of the special effects in here. All right. Any question on that? I know you can't access the file, so we'll touch base on this again on Wednesday too. But if you can access it when Canvas comes back up, let's see. How are we doing? Still not up? Man, and you realize how much stuff runs on Amazon Web Services? It's a little scary. Yes. Well, you can go to the Amazon website, and then if you search for something, it goes nowhere. You just get a blank page. So anyhow, so we'll touch base on this on Wednesday. If you do have access to this when they finally get Canvas up and running, um, you can start working on it. And if you can't get it till Wednesday, that's fine too. Yeah.
Sorry, I want, in case Canvas has come up by then today, I really struggle with InDesign, and I was hoping, could you send me the videos that you did for lecture through my email? Because I can't access to Canvas right now.
All right, send me an email reminding me and I'll send you the links to it.
Okay, like all of them, like all the InDesign related videos.
Okay, I can do that.
Really appreciate.
All right,
Thank you. 2 minutes, still understand it. Thank you.
all right. Any other questions? All right.